Clerk, please report.
House Bill 328, an act relating to advertising devices and declaring an emergency. Representative Johnson.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Davis 13 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Davis 13 for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm here today to present for your consideration House Bill 328, which, when passed, will establish the constitutional authority for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to provide regulatory oversight of outdoor advertising along our Kentucky parkways and interstates. More to the point, we're talking about billboards on our highways. The outdoor advertising industry supports reasonable regulation and has actually requested this bill. Mr. Speaker, there is a committee substitute. Request that the clerk please report House Committee Substitute 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 328.
Gentleman from Davis.
Committee substitute includes the original language of the bill of House Bill 328, but actually repeals and replaces section by section the portions of KRS 177 relating to billboards. And what this does is strengthen our remedies for the federal court's concerns about First Amendment rights. Mr. Speaker, move for adoption of House Committee Substitute 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Davis.
Very briefly, House Bill 328 does three things. It establishes the authority for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to provide oversight of billboards in a constitutional manner. It pauses new billboard construction until the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet can reestablish the proper and reasonable regulations. And finally, it takes the necessary first step to meet federal requirements to provide effective control of billboards as a condition for receiving federal road funds. If we don't pass this legislation, we're at risk of losing as much as 10% of our federal road funding. Because of this, House Bill 328 does include an emergency clause. What House Bill 328 does not do, it does not address the issue of billboards being erected during this time when the industry is not being regulated. This is a matter that will have to be decided by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, and I have spoken with the Cabinet, and we feel that the best way to move forward on that is to first establish our regulatory authority, and then during the interim deal with these issues. So that's why that is not in this bill at this time. Mr. Speaker, subject to any questions, I move for passage of House Bill 328 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 328 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion?